Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me today. I'm Aja McClanahan with Principles of Increase, where I help you discover and explore ways to increase in different areas of your life. Hey, so glad to be back. I know that it's been a minute. Today I'm going to talk about something that I think is actually kind of fun and interesting, and it is about weird things that Puerto Ricans do. Now, this is me processing Puerto Rican culture, Puerto Rican life, Puerto Rican people from my lens and my perspective. And so it is not intended to insult or offend anyone. It's just something that is different to me, weird to me, and I would welcome some input, feedback, comments below on if you have any insight or any commentary that would help me understand better some of these things that I'm going to bring up. But without further ado, I think this is going to be a fun video and hoping to get a lot of engagement, because if someone can break some of this stuff down for me, I would love to hear it. If you're a digital nomad or like me, spend lots of time traveling, listen up. What I'm about to tell you will change your life. Introducing Genki, the ultimate health insurance for world explorers just like you. Imagine roaming the globe without a care, knowing you're covered for any medical emergency. From scooter mishaps to tropical illnesses, Genki's got your back. With instant sign up and quick claims, you can focus on your adventures, not paperwork. Don't let health worries hold you back. Choose Genki and travel with confidence. To get your free quote, just screenshot the QR code that you see here, or check out the link in the description below. So the first thing that stands out to me, or that is really weird to me, is that Puerto Ricans have a very different concept of what is considered breakfast food or morning food. Example, frituras, which are these fried hot pocket type things, for lack of a better word, and they're usually filled with meat or cheese, and they're fried. I love them. I think they're delicious. But I noticed that a lot of times here, the thing to do is these fritura stands, they're open really early in the morning, starting at 5 or 6 in the morning, and people will have a fritura, maybe a Malta India, some type of soft drink, something like that. And then the fritura stand is probably closed by noon, 3, 4 o'clock, something like that. And then they're a lot of them are just open on the weekends too. So that's kind of weird. For me, a fritura is a fun, tasty treat that I would have on a Friday night. I wish I could do a fritura Friday. Because that's when I kick back, relax, and that feels like the end of the week. And that's when you eat something fun like pizza, wings, burgers, something like that. Fritura. This makes sense to me. But here, no, it's more of a morning food. Again, which is just kind of weird to me. Other thing is donuts. Donuts to me are a total morning food. And you get up in the morning, you need your donut ready by 5 or 6 in the morning with your coffee, you're good to go. Here, many donut places open very late. I think Krispy Kreme is one of the more chain-like donut places. They don't open until 7 o'clock in some places. Little local donut places, maybe they open at 8, 9, 10. There's a donut place I like that's in front of the Walmarts, the Gabby Mini Donuts. I've been there at 8 or 9 in the morning, and maybe they're open, but they don't have donuts. Why are donuts not ready at 5 in the morning, guys? Remember that Dunkin' Donuts commercial, time to make the donuts, and he's up before it's dark? That, again, smoothies to me, that's a total morning breakfast food for me. If I'm out running on the trail or doing some exercise in the morning, I'm gonna have a taste for a smoothie. And a lot of the smoothie places are connected to acai bowl places, and those places can open late, 11, 12, even later. So that is something that's really mind-bending to me, and it's taken some time to get used to. Okay, the next thing that I think is really weird here is people have an extreme work-life balance culture. So I'll give you an example. There are some little restaurants that maybe they operate out of someone's house, or or they're like a little roadside stand or kiosk. Those restaurants or food service trucks or whatever, they may be open from like Thursday to Sunday. Some are just on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Some have even weirder hours, like where I live, there's like a little, what would you call it? Like a chinchorro, like a little, not a grease spoon, because they really only do drinks and frituras. I don't know what you'll call it, but it's like a roadside stand, but it has a little seating. Their hours are something weird, like Thursday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Why not Friday? And people go out there, you hear the music, they're dancing. The hours are weird. So that, again, is strange to me, but I can see how it makes sense. Like if you want a lifestyle business, here the culture is more centered around life, family, friendships, leisure than it is around work. So I get that, and I aspire to have that lifestyle where I can have some type of business that only opens a few days a week. So I don't have a problem with it, but it's something new. It's something strange to me, and it's definitely weird, but it works, I guess, for a lot of the lifestyle business owners here. Okay, this one, I think some of this stuff is happening in Puerto Rico, but it is reflective of a larger cultural tie that maybe goes back to Spain, Europe, maybe even something that is a broader phenomenon that occurs in the Caribbean. So I feel like what I'm about to say next may be more of like a Caribbean thing, and maybe even go back to European connections. But it is the holidays that are important here. So there's been times where I have struggled to understand like why stuff is open on Christmas but closed on Three Kings Day. El Día de los Tres Reyes. I think it's something like that, or sometimes we call it like the Magi, something around. But anyway, that whatever that holiday is, that's like a bigger, huger, it's more important than Christmas. Then I remember like trying to go somewhere for Mother's Day, which, I mean, that should be an important holiday, but I think in the US it's not as important. But I remember encountering like closed stores and things like that. So the holidays that are important here, things that are closed versus open, that could be confusing as well. Still trying to get used to and figure out like what's what. So this one is probably one of my favorite weird things because I have recently become somewhat of a cat person, but not all the way. My kids have cats, so I'm like a grandma to cats. But anyway, so here there are cats everywhere. There's lots of stray cats everywhere you go, right? And you'll see a cat that you think maybe has an owner, like he'll go up to a house, or she'll like be, rubbing on someone's leg, and you're like, oh my goodness, what a cute cat. What's the cat's name? And they'll be like, I don't know. Like, oh, is this your cat? No, es de la calle, es del barrio. So the cat is from the streets and belongs to the whole neighborhood. Yet, I've seen people pick these cats up. They have regular feeding schedules. No one knows the name, or if the cat has a name, it has several names because so-and-so down the street names it that, and then when I see it this day, so it's very interesting. I've seen people feed cats like on beaches, at restaurants, and I've even seen people pull up with like their whole haul of like cat food, the wet food, the dry food, the bowls and everything, but these cats don't belong to anybody. You'll see them outside of restaurants. I go to a recycling center around here to drop off stuff, and they have a horde of cats that just take care of, like, you'll see a group of like 20 cats outside, and people just feed them either regularly or just patrons of the establishment. And that's just really interesting to me. I don't ever remember seeing that when I lived in Chicago or even Florida. So that is really different here, where people, they kind of act aggravated by the stray cat population, but secretly everyone has like this cat they feed, and they can't tell anyone, they can't name it, they can't go to attach to it. So I think that's cute and weird at the same time. Okay, this one, you all. I don't know if I'll ever get used to this. The amount of carbs that are served per meal, or the carb to protein ratio, crazy to me. And I understand why that happens, because carbs are just cheaper. They're more filling, right? So we get that. We've all grown up where you're just like eating a bunch of French fries because your mom got a sack of potatoes to go with your hamburger, because it's cheaper to eat the French fries, the chips, the rice, whatever, right? So I get that. I understand why that happens, but I feel like we're in a day and age where people have kind of figured, I don't want to say like carbs bad, because I don't believe that either, but I feel like we're, as humans, like evolving and figuring out our nutrition needs to eat better. And a lot of the world has figured out that eating a whole bunch of carbs can be detrimental to your health. And I'll give you an example. Now, I thought I would never give into this, because I came here like, oh no, kind of, snooty, kind of haughty, like it's way too many carbs per meal. I lift weights, I work out. I could never eat that many carbs per meal. But one day I went to see my neighbor around Christmas time. And when I tell you, this lady gave me some lasagna with some white rice, I looked at her like, thanks, but I'll just quietly not eat the rice. But when I tried it, you all, I was like, oh, okay. And this extends to many other different plates. So you might go somewhere and you'll get, like the Chinese food places, you're gonna get fries and rice. You go to a letonera, you're gonna get yuca and maybe tostones. Those are your options. Everything is like a meat and then 2 to 3 carbs. So again, crazy work to me, but in some cases I understand and I appreciate it. Okay, this one, I'm just gonna be real short on this one. One is the over-explaining, and I might even talked about this in another video. I feel like the customer service culture is not as developed here, so there are no protocols necessarily in place for dealing with disgruntled customers or people who are not getting the level of service they need. And that just means employees tend to wing it, because some of them do have a heart to serve customers and placate customers and be nice, but they just don't have the tools or the training. And so I feel like that lends to a lot of times where people will just over explain things that are going wrong, and many times the explanations don't make sense. And as someone who, you're trying to get good service, you're trying to understand what's going on, that can be frustrating. So if you come here and people just explain and they go on and like you're like, what is going on with this? I mean, it's not always somebody trying to deflect or be rude. They just actually don't know, but they want to deliver good service, and they want to make you feel like they are presenting to you at least an explanation if they can't give you a solution. So that's weird. And I feel like places like coming here like Chick-fil-A, they do that really well, even within Puerto Rican culture. So I'm thankful for them being here for that, because they have extended that customer service culture of excellence onto the island. And I love to see it, because I've gotten treated so well here at Chick-fil-A here. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Okay, and before I spill some more tea about Puerto Rican culture, I want you to take a moment to hear a message from one of the channel sponsors. Are you looking for the most flexible, affordable option for car rental on the island of Puerto Rico? Welcome to Aqui, Coqui, Puerto Rico's first car sharing marketplace. Founded in 2021 by U.S. military vets, fueled by honesty, service, and reliability, Aqui Coqui is here to make your island adventures unforgettable. With Aqui Coqui, you'll get a wide range of vehicle types with all kinds of pricing options. Plus, there are car rentals for drivers as young as 18 years old. Hassle-free, same-day bookings, insurance coverage, roadside assistance, and toll passes, everything you need for a worry-free trip. Plus, you can enjoy pickup and drop-off services within 20 miles of the San Juan area. Whether you're exploring Puerto Rico for the first time or the 100th, do it the right way. Do it the Aqui Coqui way. Book now at AquiCoquiCarSharing.com and use code CASCAP25, CASCAP25 to save 5% on your rental. Book now at AquiCoquiCarSharing.com and use code CASCAP25 or CASCAP25 to save 5% on your rental with Aqui Coqui today. This one is also weird. I kind of live on the coast, but it also is very adjacent to the country areas. So I'm like in beachy country areas. So probably while I'm recording this, you may even be hearing chickens in the background. One thing that is weird is the country culture is like so alive and very integrated into everyday life. For example, a bunch of my neighbors have chickens and they make noise all day, every day, in the morning and night. The other thing is I see so many people walking down the street randomly with machetes. People just walk down the street, they have a machete, they'll walk up into a little field and just start. Now, maybe some people are getting some plants, maybe they just see some overgrown vegetation and they have an urge to cut it and that's why they walk around with their machete. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain this to me. But the machete culture, very wild here. And I don't want to say disturb me because when I see somebody who, obviously they're like cutting down stuff, that's fine. But like when you see people walking down the street with a machete, crazy. People here still hitchhike. I've seen people on the side of the road and they're like, here they call it pidiendo pon. Pon. P-O-N. Tengo que pedir pon. Pidiendo pon. Hopefully I said that right, but yeah, you'll see people on the side of the road hitchhiking. Finally, one of my favorite weird things about Puerto Rico is there is this joke, but it might be serious, that Puerto Rico has one of the longest Christmas seasons in the world. And I kid you not, I feel like it actually starts around August unofficially. You'll be going into the stores and you'll see the back to school stuff. And maybe you'll see Halloween, that stuff, but maybe not. But you could see Christmas stuff. And by September, October, they're fast forwarding and you're going to see Christmas stuff. By October, you're definitely hearing the Christmas carols and songs, the traditional Puerto Rican songs. And so, yeah, that's interesting. So by August, you're kind of getting eased into it. September, October, you're there, but you actually have like 2 months to prepare. So I think that's fun. Christmas season here is like really, really fun. The food, the activities, lots of festivals, a lot of meetings, gatherings. It's a really precious time. And then it kind of extends into like the middle of January. There is a music festival on the other side of the island called, I think it's like the Festival of San Sebastian. And they have that every year, and they call that like the official close to the Christmas season, La temporada de las Navidades. So it's a long Christmas season here, but it makes for so much fun. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video and it prompted you to visit Puerto Rico and just observe some of the quirky, interesting things that I have also noted about the culture, and ultimately have fun here and appreciate it.